Hello and welcome to the Making Stories podcast. This is episode 22 and you are very welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Claire. I'm the marketing and social media manager here at Making Stories. One on my sides is my lovely boss and colleague Hanna Lisa. And we are making stories. Hanna Lisa is all the way over there in Berlin. I'm in Nova Scotia. And Making Stories is a publishing company that produces a beautiful knitwear magazine. And we also sell some gorgeous yarns. And we have a big focus on sustainability. And this is what the podcast is about. It's talking about our makes, the products in the shop, and just sustainability on a whole, and just what we've been up to. So welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if it's your first time. And I'm going to throw you over to Hanna Lisa, who has some very exciting news, and she can say hello as well.
Yes, thank you so much, love. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee. Do as Claire does. Grab your knitting, settle in for about half an hour of just chatty knitting time, really, with us. What we're going to start with today are two exciting announcements, and then we have quite a few things off and on our needles, so be prepared for a slightly longer segment of knitting stuff. The one exciting announcement that I want to start with is a very, very warm and huge welcome to the wonderful Elsa, who's joined the Making Stories team.
Yay! Welcome, Elsa!
She is our new customer care manager, and so if you're reaching out to us, especially through the hello at email address, Elsa will be your main point of contact. We're so happy and excited that she's joined us, and we can't wait for you to meet her because she's absolutely wonderful, and she is based also here in Germany. So that is something that, I think might be a fun fact for people to know. We are completely set up for remote work. And so when we were looking for someone to fill the position of customer care manager, location wasn't important, but I think it's fun to know where people sit anyways. So
yeah, where everyone is.
Exactly. The other thing that might be interesting for you to know is that Elsa speaks both German and English. So if you are a viewer based in Germany and you have a question, feel free to send that over in German and she'll be able to help you in German as well. And yeah, we're just very excited. Elsa is also an amazing knitter. Maybe we can put her Instagram link in the down bar below.
Absolutely.
Because you need to go check out her work. She has some serious color work skills. Like this morning, the day that we're recording this, I saw her post a photo of a cardigan that she just recently finished, an all over color work cardigan, and I'm like,
ooh, I need to check that out.
Yeah. So Elsa, very, very warm welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us.
Yay!
Second exciting announcement. We have a new yarn coming to the shop. Well, actually, by the time that this goes live, it's here. It's like, oh, damn, that intro was not nearly as exciting as I thought it would be. So as you know, we've been slowly sort of making our way, dipping our toes into selling sustainably produced yarns, in addition to the magazine that we make. All the yarns that we have in the web shop are completely sustainably produced, so we want to take the guesswork for you, our wonderful customers, out of that. No matter what you're looking for, if you purchase something from us, rest assured that it's been sourced and produced under conditions that are really taking into account the animal and human and environmental well-being of everyone and everything involved. And we have a new yarn, and we're, I think, both really, really excited to share it. It's been one of the yarns that one of the yarn companies that has been with Making Stories ever since its inception. We had a pattern in our very first book with a yarn from this company, and it continues to be one of our favorite yarns. I think almost every publication has
nearly
has a pattern in their yarns in it. I also wonder because they are gorgeous. They come in a super wonderful and very broad range of colors. They are sustainably produced, and they are also, as far as sustainably produced yarns go, pretty affordable. So if you are looking to dip your toes into the sustainable yarn world and you have a little bit of sticker shock, which I can totally understand. Like some of those yarns, if you source from small farms and then hand dye things, you know, things can get expensive really, really quickly. And this yarn that we're introducing now is actually financially a bit more affordable, which I think is a really nice thing.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
What are we going to have in the shop? Rerum Natura! Yay!
Oh, I love it. I have some in my stash just waiting. My poor Yoki that never got cast on is waiting in my stash. So I'm excited to get that on my needles.
You can do that very soon. It would work very well with what we're doing to celebrate this launch. Which we're going to talk about in a second, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the yarn itself. So the Rerum Natura is a yarn company based in France, and we're going to carry, to start with, if you like this, do let us know and we'll expand our range, but to start with, we're going to carry one of their bases, Eucalyptus, which technically classifies as a fingering / sport weight. I have found that you can knit everything with it. So fingering weight gauge, DK weight gauge, like this is a true gauge wonder. And Eucalyptus is a mix of merino darl, so a specific sort of merino breed that hails from the south of France. The sheep are raised in Provence, which is one of the provinces in the very south of France at the Mediterranean Sea. And a little bit of merino petra, which is a Portuguese merino breed that comes from the Alentejo Valley. And the merino petra sheep are actually black. And by mixing those two different kind of fleeces, they are able to produce gorgeous heathered shades.
Ooh. And that's my favourite. I love when a yarn's got like a heather base and then it's dyed on top because it gives it so much depth, and I just think it's beautiful to have those grey undertones. Absolutely.
So this is a 100% wool yarn. It is incredibly soft. You will see in a second that this is one of our favorite things to knit baby and kids things with, because it is so soft. I knit a stroller blanket for my little one out of this, and he still loves it. And so it's really good for babies and kids knits, but it's also wonderful for adults. It comes in these 50-gram balls, and each 50-gram ball has 185 meters of yarn to it. And I've found when knitting with this, you can get a lot out of that yardage. You don't need like 15,000 balls to make an adult-sized sweater.
No, which is great if you can ever get sustainable yarn in a sweater's quantity without completely breaking the bank too. It's always really good.
Totally. So, lovely. What are we doing to celebrate the launch?
We have an exciting new thing coming to the shop. Hanna Lisa very kindly asked, well, not very kindly, very cleverly asked you guys what you were thinking, because we've been struggling a little bit when it came to exactly what was going to be best for you when we do these kind of promotions. So she reached out and you mentioned that kits will be something that you'd be really interested in for this yarn for the launch week. And that's what we're doing. We're going to have two types of kits. One for the lovely Yoki sweater, which is from issue 5. Hanna Lisa's going to show you now, which is just beautiful. And another kit for the Joy cardigan, which was in the kids collection. which is beautifully designed by our very own Hanna Lisa. Excuse me. Got caught in my throat. The Joy cardigan, which is gorgeous. It's like the perfect cardigan for your little one. So we're going to have kits in the web shop for both those in different colorways, and you will have the option to purchase the pattern with it at the same time. So we're super excited for that. Those are going to be available beginning for the launch, which is the 28th, right the way through to November the 4th. So they're only available for a very short amount of time. So if you're interested in those kits, they are live right now. Go and check them out. The link is below.
Yeah, and we're super, super happy to be offering them. And as Claire said, and this is something that is pretty new, because so far when we've done kits where you could purchase the full magazine and then like the yarn for a specific pattern. But for both those kits, you'll be able to just purchase the individual pattern with the yarn. And if you already have the pattern or those collections, either issue 5 for Yoki or the kids collection for the Joy cardigan, you can of course just purchase the kit without the pattern. I am going to quickly show you the colors that we have. This is going to be a very, very quick run through. We're doing an Instagram live this weekend to show you those colors a little bit more in detail, but I think they're stunning and they also deserve a spot here on YouTube. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 10 colors. What?
We have 10 colors? What? That's so exciting.
Yeah, we have 10 colors and they are stunning. We went for sort of like a soothing, neutral / autumnal colorway range, and I'm going to start with the neutrals. We're going to have this one, which is, I need to figure out how to best show it so that it focuses. Boulot, which is a beautiful, slightly heathered, like gray heathered white.
Oh, it's pretty.
It's super pretty. Then we have Goland, which is a very gorgeous mid-gray. This is actually the colorway that I knit my citrine sweater with. It's super good because it goes with everything. You can wear it with jeans, you can wear it with black stuff, you can wear it with everything. Like this is a super, super good gray. And it has this depth because, you know, you can see the natural heather of the yarn. Super, super nice. Moving on to, let's go with the blues. We have Brouillard, which is this light blue, almost like if you took like a denim-y blue and just lightened it up significantly. This is
like washed out denim.
Exactly, like washed out denim. Super good. And then we also have Baleine Bleu, which is a really gorgeous navy.
That's nice.
In terms of green / blues, we have the colorway that Claire has in her stash, which is Sage. So
and it's gorgeous.
It's super gorgeous. I hope that, I'm not sure if the lighting is picking this up really well. This is a really pale sage. It's very, very pretty. And then one thing that Rerum Natura does incredibly well is sort of like color transitions, color pairings. And so we have these 3 different shades. Isn't that good? So this is Sage. So good. This one is called Eucalyptus. So it's like Sage, but darker. I'm gonna snatch something of this for myself, I think.
That was the other color, if you remember. I was going between that color and the Sage for my Yoki.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Cèdre, which is a very pretty green with a tiny bit of gray in it. And for the folks who prefer some warmer tones, we also have 3 different colorways. We have Quartz, that is one of the most popular colorways ever of Eulis, and it's actually the one that we used for the Yoki sample. Mm-hmm. We'll also have Aubépine, which I couldn't resist because I think this is just the prettiest shade of red, very autumnal.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Sorry, I was just getting Yoki again because I've got my issue 5 right here as well.
And then we also have one of their very new colorways called Darjeeling. And this is a beautiful caramelly brown tone.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's very autumnal.
So those are the 10 shades that we have in stock now. You can purchase them as kits. You can purchase them individually. Go grab some yarn, people.
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited. It's one of my all-time favorite yarns.
Yeah.
And I never found out about it until, I think, was it with Woods? And I saw the Black Forest cardigan. And that was the first time I really heard of it. And then I kind of went down a little hole of experiencing it. And it's one of my favorites now. It's such a good yarn. And it wears really well, which is the other thing.
And they're a lovely small team. So Len and Celine, the two who we're mostly in touch with from the Rerum Natura, are doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and it's been such a joy seeing them grow and add new colors to the line and seeing other people discover their yarns. And so it's always just, I don't know, I like having yarns from people that we know. So
exactly, it's nice. And definitely I'll put the link to the Instagram below as well, because check it out. They do a lot of swatching in their yarns in all the different colours. And it's so, I find that really helpful, because it's always nice, as much as something looks beautiful in the ball, it's sometimes nice to go and see it knit up, and then all the different stitch patterns they use with it, because it is a woolen spun yarn, and I think sometimes people worry about the stitch definition. And it's got, actually you'll see from a project I'm working on soon, it's got beautiful stitch definition, and it's really nice to see them in all those different swatches. So I will put the link below so you can check it out.
Yay, that is wonderful. And also a really good thing to, well, at the time that we're recording this, I haven't set up the website listings yet, but we do have access to those pictures, so I'm going to be adding those to the website as well, so you can take a look when you're looking through the yarns. But speaking of stitch definition, do you just want to share what you're working on? I see it lurking in the corner in there.
Do you see it? Oh, you do see it.
I see it on the different camera.
Well, you'll also see it. It gets cropped out as well by the time I edit everything. But yeah, it's sneaking on. This.
Oh my god! You made so much progress on this.
Well, it's such, like, once you get to this point as well, it's kind of, you just sat there knitting. You don't have to think. I don't have to look at any charts. And
look at that! I'm obsessed.
So
whoa, like.
I absolutely love it. It was one of those things I just recently picked it up again. So Tilly's been sat on it. I recently picked it up again, and I've just been obsessively kind of knitting on it because I really want it for this fall and winter. So this is the Watershed Scarf, and this is from issue 5. I'm going to show you the picture quickly, because originally this was knit in the Fibre Co's Luma, and I'm getting to it. And I've knit it in Rerum Natura. Gilet is the different, so this is the heavy, it's the exact same yarn content as the one we're stocking, but it's a heavier weight. So here it is in the Fibre Co, which is also a really beautiful yarn, but that is a worsted spun yarn, which is really nice for cables. But it just goes to show, in that woolen spun yarn, just look at the stitch definition on those cables. It's 3D.
It's so good. Like,
it's
if you're looking
so
at it
good
from the side or like a slight angle, like, look at how those stand out. Like, oh my god, this was such a good call that you knit this in this yarn.
And that's the back.
Oh my god, that's so pretty.
Isn't it pretty? Q, who designed this, is just a master of cables.
Yeah.
She is, and since we've worked with her on Watershed, we are also working with her again on something else, which is super exciting.
And coming in issue 8.
Coming in issue 8, which I'm very excited about too.
Yeah.
But I've seen her work just evolve and evolve even further, and she's got a way of working with cables that is just mesmerizing to me. And she's got this knack of combining cables and garter stitch and reverse stockinette in a way that gives this amazing, just this beautiful fabric. She's just released another one, which is also gorgeous. I'll pop the link below, but yeah, so this just goes to show the same yarn doing the cables.
Yeah.
The stitch pattern is just,
Wow.
it just pops out.
It's so
I am obsessed with it. I cannot wait to I can't wait to have it done and wear it. And oh, do you know what? You could do like a shorter version as well. Wouldn't that be cute? And then just kind of like if you
have
didn't want like a full
pin there.
Yeah, that would be
Like
cute,
with
wouldn't
collar.
it?
It
There
would
you
be
go.
cute. Yeah.
just made a new thing. There we go. I'm finished.
Done. Especially with the needle poking out. I like that look.
That's the pin. I can kind of just like, oh, I can't do this reverse. Like weave it through. Done.
Yep.
No, I will finish it because I love it. But yeah, that I always struggle with cowls, not going around my neck. So maybe that's like a thing. But yeah. So that's that's my Watershed Scarf.
Gorgeous work, love.
Thank you. Do you want me to show my other quick FO before we get on to the magnificent thing that is adorning your body right now? I'm going to very quickly show, I showed this in the last podcast. I meant to put it on, but then I always forget. I've got earphones on. So, yeah, I can't
That's an
really...
interesting look on top of the earphone.
I can't really get it on, but you get the idea.
Maybe you can insert a picture.
Sorry, I lost you. I lost connection with you for a slight second. I was like, are you still there? So that is my pumpkin beret done and the leaves sewn on. I'm really happy with it.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
It's, so really quick, this is the Biz pattern from Sari N on Instagram, Sari Nordlung. I love this pattern. I've knit it before. Her pattern is written for fingering or sport weight. I did mine in Letropi, so it's a much heavier yarn. So I used my other beret that I did as kind of like a size guide, basically, and then just stopped increasing when I knew it was big enough. It's a gorgeous pattern, and I love that it's finished with this I-cord bind off.
Ooh, that's super cute.
Nice. It gives it a really nice clean line, and the leaves I did from the Harvest Fall Charm collection, which I'm still I need to get my garland up. I've been working on it. I did an acorn last night while I was sat, and that's very nearly ready to string up, but I took the leaf from there. That's from Susan B. Anderson, and yeah, I felted my little leaves and I sewed them on there, so I'm gonna be wearing this for the rest of fall, and yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Thanks. Yay. So now we've got mine out the way. Show us what you're wearing, because it's magnificent.
It's done. People, my bindweed is done.
Yay.
I'm gonna stand up and like try to show you. Yeah. Okay. So disclaimer: this hasn't been blocked yet. I'm not gonna block it. I'm just gonna wear it.
Just wear it.
So, but this is why this looks a little bit funky here at the. So, this is my bindweed, and see, like this definitely needs some blocking there. Maybe I'm gonna do a quick steam block. But
Yeah, just for the steam.
can we just for a second admire those cables?
Oh, it's so good. I
Isn't
love
it?
it.
Yeah, me too. So let's talk a little bit about this, because you have seen the progress of this in the last few podcast episodes, and I'm really, really happy that it's done. It's also now proper fall here in Berlin, so it's time for all of the knits to come out. So finished just in time. Bindweed is a design by Xenia Naidion from our issue 5, and it was my issue 5 cast on. It's an absolutely stunning pattern, and it's also just super fun to knit. Like, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I want to talk a little bit about the construction, and then I also want to talk a little bit about the yarn. So this is a top-down cardigan, which is really nice because while the pattern is written for quite a crop length, which I went with, if that's not your style, you can just super easily lengthen the body, and there were quite a few versions that have a longer body. And the way that Xenia designed this is also just creating, as you're knitting, really beautiful finishes. So one of the really beautiful details that I like so much is the way that the open front, sort of like where the button band would be, is finished, and you do all of this while you're knitting, you know? I think
so
it's just
nice.
Really beautiful and clean, and those lines are also echoed in those raglan increases.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And yeah. And then you do have a little bit of cabling here for the front. Oops. There we go.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's super nice. But the body, other than that, is mostly stockinette. And then it's obviously, you know, you have those beautiful balloon sleeves with that cable pattern that starts and just grows bigger and bigger as you progress through the raglan increases. Yeah, and you finish it off.
It's gorgeous.
With a little folded hem. So you just sew this down, and this is why this needs a bit of blocking, like, because it hasn't been. It's.
Oh,
like
it looks nice though.
Fabric. It does look really nice. I thoroughly enjoyed every single stitch of this, and the cables, as soon as you have knit a few rounds of the cable pattern, especially when you finish with the increases and you're at the sleeves, it's series TV knitting. Like, you don't need to look at the pattern. It's just...
Oh, I love that.
It's super good. Like, it's just really, really, really enjoyable. And I loved it. I really, really liked it. The yarn is one that I had not knit with before, but that is the one that... Where is this leaf? There we go. It's the one that the pattern originally was designed for, a Danish yarn company called Knitting for Olive, and it's two strands held together. They're merino base, 100% mulesing-free merino, and they're soft silk mohair base. And I knit mine with a strand with a merino in plum rose and the soft silk mohair in rose clay. I actually have my yarn leftovers here so you can see.
Oh, it's so pretty, and it's kind of like the reverse really of what we did for the magazine too, because I think so for the magazine we did the lighter color was for the fingering, and then the darker the contrast was the other way around.
Exactly. And I switched it because I wanted the sort of base color to be a little bit darker pink. The size that I knit, if anyone is interested, is a size 4. I'm 98 centimeter bust circumference, roundabout. And this is just the one that I felt most comfortable in. And this is the yarn that I have left over. So I went with the yarn recommendation in the pattern, and it's very exact. So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's so nice.
It's super nice. We do have that yarn in the shop. There might be, I think, maybe a handful of sweater quantities left in different colors. So if you're liking this, go a look. What?
Go a look.
Go a look. Go take a look at the shop. What? My brain. More time for more coffee. Also, I'm just really excited that this is done, and now I can pass on all of the things. I ordered yarn yesterday night. I haven't told you about it yet. Maybe when we're done with this segment. I remember that in January, it was my mom's birthday, and I always give her a voucher for a hand knit thing. It is end of October.
Hey.
I kind of figured.
Who are you talking to? I'm terrible at gift knitting. It's horrible.
The thing is, I think here, like, it's just taking us a long time to actually settle on something that she wanted, and we've kind of gone back and forth about it. And then yesterday night we had a FaceTime call and went through a few different options, and then actually stuck with the one that she tried on a couple of weeks ago and loved it so much. And so I ordered yarn for growing ivy.
Oh, yay! Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah. So these exact colors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have that coming my way. I have quite a bit of gift knitting to do, so I have that, and then my sister is expecting a little one, her second one, and for my nephew, her firstborn, I made a blanket, and so for the new family edition that's gonna arrive at the beginning of next year, I'm gonna make another blanket. So yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. Okay, but so this is finished. Yay!
Yay! Well done.
And I wanted to share 2 more things. I'm a little bit like all over the place today.
All the
I'm
things.
sorry, people. I got a bit of knitting done.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the thing is, now that sunrise is significantly later here, so it's dark until like maybe 7-ish, 7:30-ish in the morning, and Oren's, our little one's biorhythm is very clearly tied to the sun. In the summer, he would wake up at like 6 just because it was right outside, and now he's sleeping until like 7:30, 7:45, sometimes 8.
That's nice.
And my rhythm is so that I like to go to bed by 10:30-ish, and then I'm up at 6:15, and it's given me a solid hour of alone time. Like, David's still asleep, Oren's still asleep, and I'm sure by the time that this will air, it will probably have changed again. But like in the past week, I just make myself a cup of coffee and then lit a little candle and then just knit for a bit in the morning.
Oh, that's nice.
It was super nice. So yeah. So one thing that I did knit on
You got
is
a whole
this.
sock done. How'd you do this so quickly?
Well, this almost knit itself, because I had this on mini circulars, and it was just like, that was going with me wherever, I don't know, I went. So I could just knit on it. So right now it's only a tube. There's going to be a heel inserted here at some point. And it's a tube with 2 little thingies here.
That yarn so. So did you do the mini gussets in it at the end?
I didn't really understand what I was doing, though. I think I kind of butchered it, but it's fine. I'm gonna put in the heel and then see how they fit. I'm not sure if they're, because I couldn't really wrap my head around the construction. Like, I understand the mini gusset increases, but then I was like, where do you place the decreases then? Like, you have to decrease those stitches away.
Yeah, so you just do it. So you do the increases for the mini gusset, you put in your afterthought heel lifeline, and then you decrease.
Okay, so
It's
I think I did that right then.
Yeah.
So, like the same
I
line,
think so.
basically. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm excited. And the reason why I went for this is because I didn't want to break up that beautiful self-striping effect of the yarn. So
beautiful.
this is Woolen Twine's Corriedale sock in the Blossom sock set that we also carry, and it's just a plain vanilla sock, started at the toe and then knit up. And I'm obsessed with this. Like, this is so evenly self-striping. It's super, super nice. And you can kind of see, because, you know, you kind of then shift a little bit when you do the increases here. There's a bit of color pooling there, but I don't mind.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, so this is done, but this is a little bit on hiatus right now because I actually cast on another sock. As you might know, we currently have our patterns for issue 7 in test knitting, and I'm doing something that we don't very often do. I'm actually knitting one of them myself, and the reason for that is that it's a super cool pattern and a super cool construction.
Really cool.
It's really, really, really cool, and we're a bit struggling with wrapping our heads around it, if I may say so. Like,
yeah, that happens sometimes.
It does.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like one of the best things that I think you can do is just knit the thing yourself. And so that's what I'm doing, and I jumped at the chance because it also gives me the opportunity, or gave me the opportunity, to actually knit with a yarn that I've been obsessed with, and I know you've been obsessed with too, because it's sold out in the shop, almost sold out. So these are going to be the Cutaway socks by Victoria Gerasimova.
Ooh, that stitch pattern's so fun.
That stitch pattern is super fun. They knit themselves. Seriously, like they are potato chippy to the max. I think I cast these on 3 days ago. And I'm at the point where I need to start the heel flap.
That's so fun, you knit so quickly.
Yeah.
But I can see that as well with the stitch pattern, because it does feel like it's one of those things that you just want to keep getting that pattern going.
So this is an exclusive sneak peek. This is going to come in issue 7. That's going to come in March. But I wanted to show this also because the yarn is a yarn that we are carrying, and that I just love. It's Garth and Norris Snowdonia sock, a mix of Romney and Hebridean. This is Cutaway Bala. This is Cutaway Sunview. And like, just look at this.
Ooh.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. Garth and Norris do the best sock yarn. They do the best yarn in general.
They just do the best yarn.
So
yeah, I'm really excited that I have this on my needles. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm just also excited to be able to show people how the yarn looks like knit up, because that's been a request from a few people, that we add more photos also to the shop to sort of give an impression of how the yarns are knit up. We do have some swatch photos for yarns. So for example, for this yarn here, we have a swatch photo, or like a few swatch photos, but not for every yarn. And so this is a nice way to kill a few birds with one stone. Such a cruel saying.
It is, but you know, it gets the point across though.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of knitting happening here.
Which is fun. I've been feeling the same way after a summer of really not doing very much. I'm all about the knitting at the moment, which is really nice.
Yay. I can definitely feel that this also has to do with a change in seasons. Like, I mean, now it's just beautiful fall weather outside. We had a first fall storm today, so it's just, you know, time to get cozy.
Yep. Yeah. Get the blankets out and get knitting.
Yes. Alrighty, lovelies. I think that's everything for today. Right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Whee! Do let us know what is on your needles. If you have any questions on the Rerum Natura kits or on the colorways, you know, if you do let us know if you've knit with that yarn before, if you liked it, or if you're excited to try it. We would love to hear from you. Just comment down below. And if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet to the channel, you can just hit the little subscribe button, and it will send you a little notification every time that we upload a new episode. Feel free to forward this to a knitting friend that you think might like what we're doing. And then we'll be back here in 2 weeks with another episode of the Making Stories podcast.
Nice. Alrighty. And happy Halloween as well. It's also Halloween when this is going out. So yay.
Happy Halloween.
Enjoy it, and we will see you here in 2 weeks. Take care.
Bye.